Hi everyone, so it's me Rose Mix, and today's video I will share to you how to do a cover letter for report of birth of your kids. Okay, so if you wanted to report the birth of your kids to the Philippine Embassy, of course you can do that. So here's the thing. So I haven't applied or submit my report of marriage. So what will I do is I will submit my report of marriage simultaneously with the report of birth of my daughter. Okay, so I will just do like two folders. The other folder is report of marriage requirements, and then the other folder will be report of birth. Okay, that's what I do. I just wanted to let you know that you can do that. You can submit your report of marriage together with your report of birth of your kids. Okay, so before we go to the cover letter, you need to check what is your consular jurisdiction or your consulate where you will submit your report of birth of your kids. Okay, so you need to go to Philippine Embassy website. So we already here on the Philippine Embassy website. So all you need to do is to go to consular services and then civil registration and then click the report of birth. Okay, so there is a advisory. You need to read this advisory. And then it state here, report of birth application by mail. So you will find your consular jurisdiction. Just click this consulate finder. Okay, once you click the consulate finder, you will see the consular jurisdiction, and then just find where is your consulate. So I live in Georgia, and when I give birth to Daenerys, I'm still in Georgia. So the consulate of my report of marriage and then the consulate of sending the report of birth of my daughter is in the same consular jurisdiction. So that's why I will submit both. Okay, so just make sure that, because maybe one of you, like, you give birth to, let's say, Arizona, and then you got married in, let's say, in Georgia. Okay, so that is two different consular jurisdiction, so two different consulates. So you need to make sure that you will submit your report of marriage or report of birth to the correct consulate. Okay, so since I live in Georgia, I give birth to Daenerys here in Georgia, so my embassy, my Philippine embassy, is in Washington, D.C. Okay, so let's go to report of birth, civil registration, then report of birth, then read advisory. Okay, so we already know where to send the application for the report of birth of my daughter. So in here, it is a detailed requirements for the report of birth. Application requirements by mail. So it says here, 4 original copies of the duly accomplished report of birth forms. Forms should be completely filled out in black ink, signed and notarized. Make sure it is already signed. You use black ink, and it is notarized, because if it is not, they will send it back to you. Okay, and then next, original or certified true copy of the birth certificate and 4 photocopies. So don't worry, because all the original documents that you sent them, they will return it to you. Okay, excuse me, sorry. And then, next, if parents were not married at the time of the childbirth and mother had no prior subsisting marriage, one, affidavit of admission of paternity or AAP executed by the father if the father is willing to acknowledge paternity. Okay, so there is a form for affidavit of admission of paternity. Okay, that is AAP. And then two, affidavit to use the surname of the father, AUSF. So there is a separate form for the AUSF. So executed by the mother if the child is below 7 years old, executed by the child and attested by the mother if the child is between 7 and 17 years old, and then executed by the child if the child is 18 years old and above. Both affidavits have to be executed in 4 original copies before a notary public and duly apostillized or authenticated by the appropriate competent authority. So this part is not applicable for me because me and my foreign husband Marcus already married before I give birth to my daughter Daenerys. Okay? And then next, notarized copy of proof that the parent or parents were Filipino at the time of childbirth. Example, green card, U.S. visa, U.S. naturalization certificate, notice of action, work permit, or dual IC. So, and 3 photocopies if the parents is our former Filipinos. Please also submit a notarized copy of the foreign naturalization certificate and 3 photocopies. So, these are the proof that one of you or both of you are Filipinos. Okay? And the next, notarized affidavit explaining the delayed registration if report of birth is filed more than a year after the child was born and 3 photocopies. And then next, processing fees, non-refundable, $25 for report of birth, $25 US for certificate of registration of legal instrument for those executing AAP and or AUSF. So, if you will fill out the form of AAP and AUSF, you still need to pay $25, additional $25. But if, like me, Marcus and I already got married before I give birth to my daughter Daenerys, I don't need the AAP and then the AUSF. Okay? And we are not divorced. So, I will only pay $25 for the report of birth. Okay? The next, covering letter. So, this is our topic for today. Covering letter. Handwritten or type addressed to the consular section indicating the specific service transaction requested. It is important to provide a telephone number and or email address in case consular staff needs to contact the applicant. So, the address of my Philippine Embassy is Philippine Embassy Civil Registration Unit, 1600 Massachusetts Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. 20036. And then next requirement is original copy of the parent's Philippine Statistics Authority, which is PSA. So right now, it is already PSA because before NSO. Okay, now PSA. Marriage certificate or approved report of marriage or Rome. And for photocopies. So if you are already submitted your Rome and you receive the approved form, that is the documents that you will include to your report of birth of your kids. Okay? But since I haven't applied for report of marriage, and I will apply for I will report Daenerys' birth, so I can send it both. Like what I've said before, I will just do separate folder for report of marriage requirements and report of birth requirements. So it says here, A report of marriage application, see here, note, if married abroad and the same has not yet reported, a report of marriage application should be filed simultaneously with the report of birth. So that is the thing that I will do. Okay, and then next, notarized copy of both parents' passport, data page, and 3 photocopies. Make sure it is notarized, okay? And then next, if the child was included in a parent's approved petition for retention or reacquisition of Philippine citizenship, 3 photocopies of the child's dual citizenship identification certificate or order of approval or petition for reacquisition of Philippine citizenship indicating the name of the child as minor beneficiary of the parents' reacquisition of Philippine citizenship. So this part is not applicable for me, okay, for my daughter. Okay, and then next, self-address USPS priority mail flat rate priority express return envelope with stamps and tracking number. So now let's go to the cover letter itself. Ta-da! Okay, so let's do zoom 200. Okay. So on the upper left part of the paper, write your full name and then your complete address and then your email address. Make sure your email is active, and then your phone number. Make sure your phone number is active, okay? And then the date where will you submit, when will you submit your application or the report of birth, okay? And then the consulate address. So as for me, Philippine Embassy Civil Registration Unit 1600 Massachusetts Avenue Northwest, Washington DC 20036. Okay, and then re, I highlighted the re so they can easily see that, oh okay, this is for report of birth. So re, report of birth. Then, dear Sir, Madam, enclosed, please find my daughter's report of birth supporting documents. So, contents include processing fee of $25, money order, for original duly accomplished report of birth form signed and notarized. Make sure it is notarized and signed, okay? And then 1 original duly accomplished affidavit for delayed registration of birth signed and notarized, and 3 photocopies. I need the affidavit for delayed registration because it's super late when I report the nearest birth, because the nurse is already 3 years old. If your kids is only 1 year old or less or younger, you don't need to do the affidavit for delayed registration of birth, okay? Okay, so next, 1 notarized copy and 3 photocopies of government issued identification card of both parents. This is the passport, the data page, okay? And then next, 1 notarized copy and 3 photocopies of U.S. permanent resident card and USCIS I-551 stamp to prove Filipino nationality. Like what I said before, since my 2 years green card is already expired and my 2 years green card has a nationality there like the Philippines, and then my USCIS I-551 has a nationality indicated there, Philippines. So those 2 IDs that I will include to the application of, but you can do work permit, US visa, like what I read last time. It says here, naturalization certificate, notice of action, so you can use that. Okay, and then next, self-addressed return envelope with appropriate stamps for express or priority mail with tracking number via US postal service. So you have to go to USPS before you send your documents. You just tell to the clerk that you need a self-addressed return envelope. So they will give you the tracking number, and then you will just write on the envelope your full name and then your complete address to the part of two, okay, because they are the one who will send the documents to you. Okay, copies of documents submitted are exact photocopies of unaltered documents, and I understand that I may be required to submit additional proof or documents to prove my citizenship or identity pursuant to the Philippine passport law or at a later date. Sincerely yours, Roselyn Campbell. So this is how you do the cover letter. And of course, if there are other documents that is applicable to you or to your kids, of course, you need to write that to your cover letter. Okay, so if you have any questions, clarifications, feel free to comment on my video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so that it will notify you if I have a new video. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.